Today, it is surprising that violence is associated with Islam, and Muslims are labeled as terrorists. In fact, it is Islam which first proclaimed the slogan of universal brotherhood, equality, justice and tolerance at a time when humanity was fast asleep in the gruesome darkness of ignorance and injustice. Dear audience, the first and foremost principle of Islam is that all human beings are descended from one father and mother. Thus, they are equal on the basis of humanity. The Quran says, "O mankind, we have created you from a male and a female, and made you into races and tribes, so that you may identify one another. Surely the noblest of you, in Allah's sight, is the DNE who is most pious of you. Surely Allah is all-knowing, all-aware." Surah Al-Hurat 49-13. The Prophet, Allah bless him and give him peace, said, "O people! Behold, your Lord is one, there is no superiority. Lore an Arab over a non-Arab, neither for a non-Arab over an Arab, nor for a black on a red, nor for a red on a black, but due to piety and righteousness." Musnad Ahmad, Hadith 22391. Considering all people equal is the foundation stone of tolerance and coexistence. The second thing after equality is justice. Islam asked Muslims to hold on justice and fairness with people in every condition, even if with their enemies and opponents. The Quran warns, "O you who believe, be steadfast for obeying the commands of Allah and witnesses for justice." Malice against a people should not prompt you to avoid doing justice. Do justice. That is nearer to taqwa, piety. Surah Al-Ma'idah 5-8. Dear audience, Islam regarded freedom of expression a birth right of human beings and termed force and oppression as unfair and forbidden. Islam utterly abhors conversion by force, and called those who accept Islam due to any force, fear, or greed as managing, hypocrite. Islam commanded Muslims to observe tolerance and good conduct with people. The Quran taught Muslims to behave the non-Muslims with tolerance, good conduct and politeness. Leave alone the common people. Islam taught tolerance to such an extent that it asked Muslims to have good conduct even with enemies. The Quran says, "Good and evil are not equal. Repel evil with what is best, and you will see that the one you had mutual enmity with him will turn as if he were a close friend." Surah Fussilat 41-34. One of the most significant teachings of Islam is to fulfill every even if made with enemies and non-Muslims, instead promise of taking revenge. Forgiveness and reconciliation was encouraged by Islam. The Quran says, "The recompense of evil is evil like it. But the one who forgives and opts for compromise has his reward undertaken by Allah. Surely, he does not like the unjust." Surah Al-Shura 42-40. Dear audience, one example of Islamic tolerance is that it recognized the previous prophets and did not create any ill will and hatred in Muslims about the leaders of other religions. It regarded all the prophets of the Jews and the Christians as true prophets sent down by Allah. Moreover, the Quran prohibited Muslims to revile and abuse the gods of other religions. Islam is for all humanity, and the Prophet, Allah bless him and give him peace, was sent down for the entire world. It is necessary to deliver the message of truth to the whole world. But Allah asked Muslims to invite people with wisdom and politeness, not with force, as the Quran says, "Invite people to the way of your Lord with wisdom and good counsel, and argue with them in the best of manners." Surah Al-Nahl 16-125. In short, Islam has matchless teaching of tolerance, and it is historical fact that Muslims throughout their history have exercised maximum tolerance with their fellow non-Muslims. It is totally unjust to associate Islam and Muslims with intolerance and violence.